Welcome back to Workers and Resources. Sleep schedule has shifted, streams are starting a bit earlier again. No late night streams during the work week anymore, I guess. At least like Tuesday to Thursday, I guess. Anyway, we're back in Workers and Resources after having set up our train line running passenger trains. We're slowly building out the train track leading towards the coaling station. After that one is done, we can build up the train line towards Project O from this lady. Our orphanage project that we're trying to run. I'm still not sure. I mean, it's gonna have to be its own settlement, I guess. So it might. I still think it's like an extension of this lady. I don't know if I would count it like its own settlement per se. I don't know. We'll see. How did you not refuel earlier? Absolutely annoyed at this horse carriage. Gonna waste me a bunch of workers again. Well, I do have horse end stations now, so I could set up one of those, but they haven't worked yet. I'm not sure if it was an issue with the end station I set up here, or if they just don't work in general. But I guess we'll wait for the next update before I try any horse end stations again. Demolition in the area of Ustron is ongoing because we will probably research and then plan on setting up a waste separation plant. And yeah, Soviet functionalism will unlock the large orphanage for us, which we want to incorporate. But first we'll try running this with like, for the education of our own population. The university, that is. So we'll set the university inside the city to deal with people only with higher than like 75% loyalty. And then the one outside can do like 40 or 30. That should be able to handle things. The amount of higher educated citizens we have is at 21%, 193. Not a lot of visitors right now. I hope they get it done. At the situation of not enough visitors to the school recently, I think we have to set this up higher and increase the amount of workers in here. Definitely have to catch up with the amount of students again. And once we have caught up, we'll set the checkbox again, preferring students according to their education level, and maybe we'll get some people with a higher loyalty running the school again, which would be pretty good. Okay, I think we'll stop bringing workers here by horse carriage and taking citizens away by horse carriage, and just set these up to go into a vehicle depot and then slowly phasing them out. I was planning for this run to maybe set up some rail distribution offices to use as changeover points for vehicle wagons. So we would have like a shunting train picking up, for example, clothing and bringing it to a train depot, a rail distribution office, I mean. And then from that building, another train can pick up the full containers, the full wagons, and bring them to an export customs house. So the export train would always be full length. And I guess the other train would also have to be full length. It doesn't really make much sense. You can't really specify the length of the train that you want. It is based on the size of distribution office that you have, I guess. So, let's see what the trains are gonna do if they're able to handle the capacity here. Or if it's going to be too much. Shouldn't be too much from the settlement, but you never know. The throughput is definitely going to be about the same as the bus route. It's just whenever they arrive at the station, I guess. How long they're willing to wait. University students are not going to get picked up. Otherwise, everyone else is fine. University students and workers with an education. Because they are supposed to go and work in the clothing factory. Okay, I guess that's a construction office, that won't do. Go back to, I think, this stop afterwards. Oh, you can set up a load command. It shouldn't work. I wonder if it's gonna do that. There was some weird shenanigans with the order of commands and some way that you are actually able to set up load commands in depots. But I'm not sure how you make that reliably yet. Sometimes it happens whenever I set up a line. And I'm not sure if I know the whole reason behind it yet. Okay, we'll go through the school system. Make sure we have enough university educated people. And then at some point crank up the amount of loyalty requirement in the university so that the orphans are prioritized. Because right now they're not finishing their school education. I'll get a basic education, hopefully. If not, they're supposed to be able to move into one building that allows people with no education to move in, but loyalty over 75%. And then hopefully we can at least give them a basic education. And then they can work in the orphanage with that loyalty. Propagate the loyalty. Money's looking pretty good. I wonder if it would be possible to let a train wait at the station for some time. Like a wait command. And then load again. I don't know why you have students on board. Why you didn't unload them? I guess. Oh no, I remember. Yeah. You're basically loading everyone, even students who are like trying to get to an attraction building and they don't have anything. Oh, I don't have an unload command for anyone yet. Well, I guess that would explain it, wouldn't it? There you go. Now the people can actually go where they wanted to go. We were just carrying them around without any destination. Some of them are going to run out of time, but that's fine. The next ones will make their way to where they want to go. Congratulations, you're the first ones to actually unload in this lady. Hope you like it. At least those who... yeah, everyone, sure. Good, now it works. We'll prepare a coal train. Coal train doesn't need any configuration in its wagons because it's only going to do one thing currently. Maybe it's going to do more later on. It's going to load coal and bring it to the coal unloading station, waiting until unloaded. It's always going to pick the right path through the coaling station because that's the only way to get to the unloading station, and it will refuel whenever it needs to at the coaling station itself. Don't need to do any customization here. And then we just have to wait for the track to get built, which is currently ongoing. School is catching up again. Slowly. I really want to run it with the checkbox, but I don't know, it should be the best option really. Because we get the most amount of time for each student. But I don't know. I think it gets people into the worker pool faster, but it has less throughput obviously. So I guess you do need to make up for the fact with that. With those extra workers, make sure it works. Can we request 50% loyalty teachers again? Or is that a no-go? Because I would still like to push the loyalty of everyone up by providing higher loyal teachers. But we need to make sure that the orphans can run through the school education. Because if they can't, They are not going to get any higher education. No, we can't. Let's just go for the orphans. Until we have the rail line set up to the private university area for the students. Research is also quite slow. But I guess that's to be expected. A lot of workers are now making their way over to Pruskov. A lot more than before. Okay, got all the train tracks built in front of it, so these rail signals are now obsolete. The trains are only going to wait on the inside. These signals we only needed because the rail construction vehicle couldn't carry that many resources and needed to make sure that it actually went outside of the track and didn't block any train going through. Hello, Herzberger. Welcome. So yeah, that's working alright. The loyalty situation, we're getting a lot more orphans now, again. Gotta make sure we get enough teachers for that. Caretakers. Where do people with high loyalty and basic education move into? It should also be a building, otherwise we're gonna lose all of them. Here, I guess. It's not that high loyalty, but I guess it kind of works right now. Okay, not a lot of people are here anymore because I guess the loyalty has been pushed up quite a bit, and we did have extra housing for those population to move into in the city. Not a lot of people with less than 25% loyalty is what I'm saying, because they are still allowed to move into Prusko. But hopefully that'll change. We got 87 people without their own flat, which I think is uneducated people. The school has some catching up to do. Epidemic number 15 or something like that. Let's try and get the school moving. Get everyone the education they need. Prusko needs its worker pool. Those 21-year-olds without their own flat can't move in because Prusko doesn't support people without an education, otherwise they have to arrive here again by train, and they might as well get the education while they're here, I guess. This should do very well now. Might cause some other problems, like a shortage of workers in the secret police, but we'll see. $193 highly educated, currently no one studying. We'll reserve that to people with only 50% loyalty or higher. I would like to stick to that if we can. It should be the orphans basically, for now. We might have to get more migrants, but right now we have a higher educated worker pool over 20%, which I would deem stable. And the amount of workers in the school can be reduced again once this volume of students goes down. Or we can turn on the checkbox, but realistically just turn down the amount of workers. Horse carriages still seem to be keeping up with the fabric deliveries. But we're not running the clothing factory at full tilt yet, of course. Also, we're now requesting more workers inside the school. And with the tight balance we have, that means fewer workers for the clothing factory. Hello, Rickety Railway. Welcome. Yeah, we'll slowly sell the vehicles, I guess. Could set up a train for that, but no, not yet. You should be able to go in there. There's nothing else here. I'm not sure why you think that is blocked. Not sure why you didn't call at the construction office, but sure. Yeah, might switch over to proper distribution offices with trucks now. Modernization could be a thing. Would be a lot more efficient, as long as the fuel price isn't exploding. Oh god, it's over 100 already. Well, but it's not it's inflation of the ruble, it's not inflation of US currency fuel price. Just general inflation, I guess. Boat price going up. Not a huge amount, but kind of worth noticing. Like, a rail-connected lumberyard might be a thing we could set up at some point. For large volumes of exports of boards, because they can unload very quickly at the border. Can you load a flatbed onto a flatbed? Probably not. Hopefully the rail construction office vehicle can move through now. It is showing as green, so it should be able to. Not sure why it was red before. There's nothing else behind it. And once that section of track is up, we can also get rid of the delivery vehicles of the coal to the heating plant and replace it with a single train. That one will give us a notification once it's done. For the extension of our settlement, we're waiting for the demolition of the sawmill and the bolt storage, and of course the research. Or we can get rid of the trees now, if we want to. Which was once our logging camp. The sawmill is almost empty. We can start demolishing that one as soon as the boards have been removed from the building. Demolition progress here underway, very good. We will have to wait for the unlocking of the waste separation plant to know how large it was, before I can make the decision if it will fit here or not. If it does, then we will relocate the electric substation, and for that we can temporarily shut down all of the buildings. Wouldn't be too bad of a thing to do. But before that we would just build a new substation somewhere here and then tear down the power line and reconnect it, which would be a pretty quick thing to do. If the substation gets built first. The power line can be changed quite easily. If the demolition office is in the area. Two more construction tasks probably to finish that train track. And hopefully the coal deliveries will keep up easily. Yeah, I guess it would make sense to like set things up for removal. I think exporting the horses and the carriages in one go is like the easiest thing to do. I'm not sure if we can load them onto a train with the horses still attached, but maybe it's possible to, because the flatbed I guess would work the same way. So we have a factory connected train station. Then we could in theory hook up a vehicle storage to it, I think. Like here, I guess. Maybe. If we set up a small vehicle storage. Get rid of the waste storage and set up a vehicle storage instead. That would work, I think. And then we could like put all the horse carriages in here and sell them off at the border. Tell this train to maybe have one more, like remove one of the gravel, export carts again, wagons, and then add the open wagon that we sold again to export vehicles, if we have one that can carry vehicles, that is. And we would need the Stuttgart R, that one we could load horse carriages onto, if it works. That would be an easier way than what we're doing right now. I think we'll do that. Give me a... Oh, we'll let this like flip over to construction waste and then empty it out. I mean, the line is still assigned to it, so that's going to happen eventually. And then we can demolish it, unassign it from the line. Demolish the road, demolish the storage, put a vehicle storage here, modify the running train as mentioned. That would be pretty good. Would certainly speed up the export of the vehicles. Or I get another train and just do the vehicle export on demand. But first we have to set up the storage for the vehicles. I think it'll work. I don't see why not. Because this is getting a little bit tedious. But I want to make sure we have at least enough room to store all the vehicles here. And then the rest, the construction vehicles, will probably get replaced by trucks. And then we'll set up a gas station here in lieu of a wooden horse feeder. And slowly shift things over by purchasing proper vehicles slowly. And the farm equipment would also move. I mean, the horse plows are still better, I would say. Unless they changed. I think something got updated with them. Okay, I'm probably gonna empty out the storage on the next trip. It's the first stop in the line, so once it's empty, we can... I mean, I can demolish it right now. Then the construction waste would just be regular waste that the demolition office would have to handle, and that wouldn't be bad either. But we might as well carry it away by line. Then queue up the road and the waste storage for demolition at the same time. Okay. These have flipped over to construction waste, so that's going to be quite a bit of material going into our gravel recycling plant. Very slowly. But again, got time. If the waste separation plant doesn't fit there, maybe we can set up a demolition office in the area, a small one. A demolition office would fit, for sure. Its waste would then go into the gravel recycling plant, metal scrap to the border, and mixed waste somewhere else, but that would be an alternative if we can't fit the waste separation plant in. And at that point, I guess... If I build it here, if we relocate the water and sewage and put the electricity somewhere else, I could also then have it in range of the repair station. I guess. Which would be nice, then the vehicles wouldn't have to travel over to them. That would mean I would have to reconnect the sewage piping, I guess. Which wouldn't be that hard to do. Because we could just relocate it over here. There's nothing connecting to the piping the other direction. That would be an option. And then the water tank could also be moved because that one's getting filled by a technical service. We can tear all of this down, put the demolition office in, and the waste separation plant. The waste separation plant might be tricky because of the factory connection that we need, but we'll see. It doesn't technically have to be here. It could also be somewhere else. But it would be more efficient if it was directly connected to the incinerator. The incinerator does not have that much throughput for a waste separation plant to make sense, but you know. Okay, storage is empty. This road is gonna look hideous as hell, but we'll fix it with like building another storage in the area. Should be okay then. No students right now. I'm still waiting for everyone to get through the school education, and then they can study right away. Ideally, the most loyal people would get a university education, but it is not necessary right now. I would like to stabilize the orphanage first. One more construction task to hook up the coaling station. Waiting for the rail construction vehicle to get here. Right, just realized something. There we go. It wasn't working before, now it should. I did assign all the assignments, but they didn't walk back and forth. They just ran out of time and then left. Walking back and forth is not that useful because the free time takes up so much time just waiting at a platform, I guess. Yeah. We got food and meat, you're waiting at a platform now for the train to, I guess, maybe get clothing, which doesn't show up right now. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense for you to go here. I think these assignments are terrible. We're gonna unassign them and don't let people wait in the area. They don't make sense. Excellent work. Rail construct. Oh, did not finish. What's missing? Gravel. Not enough gravel delivery, I guess. One more construction task then. Hopefully that'll do it. Otherwise, demolition here. Still boards on the storage. You can export and then Go to one of the full vehicle depots, I guess. We'll probably sell all the equipment inside the maintenance offices first and set up proper construction offices here. They might be on this road though. I'm not sure yet. This might be more room for housing, especially if the food factory goes away. Alright, you are empty. I can send 5 workers onto the demolition site, that is fine. Demolition here also ongoing, slowly. Could use dynamite, I guess, make it really fast. For a bit of cash. But the waste carriages would have to be able to keep up with the transportation, and I don't think they can do that. Okay, so here I think we'll do the upgrade to gravel, which is gonna cause some interruptions on the route leading to the road cargo station. But they have enough fabric to build a bit. That will be fine. Two-horse carriages might run into the situation where they're going to complain that they can't reach the stop until it gets built. Then we can put a proper gas station here too. Gas station at the heating plant first. Gas station in the town. We'll modernize. I think we'll start modernizing things. It is time. The number of 21-year-olds without their own flat should be going down, I think. That is the people with no education and low loyalty. Once you have an education, you can move over to Pruskov. And I think that's what you're going to do. Well, not you yet, because you're 12, but... you can live in Pruskov. It's fine over there. There's always a workplace available. Get the orphanage fixed, people. Do I have to get more migrants again? Maybe. Loyalty struggles. Train track is done. Let's get the coal train to move. This lady to unloading station here. Coming over from Ustron, because that's where our train depot is. Gonna have to pick up. You're not moving because this is red, I guess. This signal should go away. It's a very long piece of track, I guess. But if it's clear, then it's clear. Nah, we should put a signal here. Double chain signal on this side. And we'll leave the chain signal here too. I'll have to wait for the track leading to the customs house to be open. The Royal Construction Vehicle can also start again. The Royal Construction Vehicle now, however, may not move out. That's why it's yellow. But I'm gonna put a chain signal there anyway. And here it needs mixed signals too. Sweet tiny train. Yeah, I don't have any long trains yet. We don't have mass quantities of resources at the moment, but at some point that'll happen. Not yet right now. It's fine. We'll wait for the road to be built. They can stay stuck there, I guess. Shouldn't take too long. That's just going to slow down the building a bit more. You're now also completely empty. Which means that this line is now obsolete. The last building in the location can get demolished, and then we can extend our settlement up this way, I think, and incorporate the customs house after we've built new construction offices. And that makes our coal delivery to the heating plant also obsolete. I don't know where all my vehicle depots are. Go park yourself here, I guess. And this train should be able to move as soon as this train has gone past this. No, it's not going to be able to because we have one signal too many. How are we going to do that? Get rid of these signals, I guess? Guess we kind of have to. That should run better now. Does, however, mean that the train leading into the customs house would block the train station on that route for a bit, but it should work. You're on wait until unloaded. You're gonna feed the coaling station, and that's your task. That's absolutely fine. Go work in the orphanage. Make sure it's staffed. I need my loyalty. Okay, school looks fine again. Let's lower that amount. Let's not run this into a crisis again. Seems sufficient at 10 workers, easily. Question is, can we push the loyalty requirement up to 50 again? I don't think we can, but we're gonna try. So the coal train will run pretty frequently. Could make it longer. If we need it to have a lower frequency, the coal train could be... Technically it could be all the way up to the coaling station entrance, I guess. It could be 200-meter long train. But I'm not sure if I want that. I mean, there's no harm in it, I don't think. Hello, deviate fish. Welcome. Demolition here is done. Have to flatten the terrain a little bit so it doesn't complain. We'll build that. And I guess just an additional train car should do it. I need a shunting train. Need a train that does the shunting of the train cars. They're expensive. But sure. Might as well have an extra one. Should be able to attach that wagon to the train. I guess we would replace a gravel wagon if we really want to. One of them didn't get loaded. Did I set the wrong resource? No. I just didn't have any. Oh god, reconstruction. The orphans are not going to be happy during that time. High priority. Looks like the end station doesn't keep up with coaling. I guess that's fine. We'll unassign the distribution office and get a dump carriage to pick it up from the coal storage here. Shorter route. It should be a truck, really. Oh, precursor. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We can't use a direct line. It won't allow us to unload here. Well, then I guess the passenger trains will also use the coaling station. Sure. I don't want a distribution office, I guess. Unless we have trucks. Then a truck distribution office would easily be able to bring coal there. And going in, coaling, and then going back out. It's very fast anyway. Will not lead to a traffic jam. Morning, comrade. Hope you're having another glorious day in the motherland. I do indeed. It's going pretty well. Hope you're doing fine too. Oh god, so much loyalty lost. Finish the building maintenance, please. 2 more board deliveries and we're done. Oh, right, boards. Boards. Boards are now also gotten from the customs house again. About that. Yeah, about that. Traffic jam. Because these ones do really not have any vehicle depots left. There must be one. There must be an empty vehicle depot somewhere. There's one. In Ustron. Make room for the incoming carriages so there's no more traffic jam. Port deliveries are finally happening, but loyalty is gonna be down in the tank. Oh, we're going below 75%. It's not looking good. Alright. So we're gonna get rid of the gravel train car and put an open hull train car in there. And we're gonna tell it to load vehicles. Any vehicle that gets put in here is ripe for export, basically. And the rail construction vehicles should also get sold. Don't need them anymore. Unload whatever you have attached and bring it back. And then load the train car that is there. And bring it back too. Should unload first and then load. Oh yeah, and the route construction is ongoing, or at least it's trying to do that. Don't think it has had the time yet. There it goes. Very slowly. And the other train can move now. There's our open wagon. It's gonna go to the front, I think. Line is gonna be modified to include vehicle handling. So we're unloading waste and then we're loading vehicles only. Any vehicle. No wait until loaded. Don't have to do that. And then we need to be informed once the building is done and we can dump all the horse carriages in here and hopefully export them. I don't know if it will work. It should definitely work with trucks, but I don't know if it works with horse carriages. But this way we can sell used vehicles basically, without having to scrap them. For now. Until we have like a proper scrapyard set up. Modernization is a go. The former farming area is going to be a construction yard. First order of business, probably tearing down this fire station and replacing it with a larger one. Replacing it with a larger one first. And I think the food factory is going to get shut down after we make sure we have used up all the crops in the area. So once the crops are empty, this whole place is going to get demolished too. And we might set up a demolition office to do that. Well, if we're thinking about the way the construction offices would go, they would do a left-hand turn onto the road, left-hand turn to the customs house. Which isn't ideal. But I guess I'll be fine with it for now. I'll get one of them built for now. And then upgrade to modern vehicles. Fuel based. Those are going to be the maintenance officers slash construction officers. They will have enough capacity to do both. And be expandable with like road building vehicles, like paving vehicles. And excavators in the future. Okay, looks like it's up. I guess we'll send some vehicles in here and test it. If the horse carriages can go that way. It needs a horse pasture. Okay, so we can't export them that way. It's not going to be useful for the horses then. That's unfortunate. Then I guess we'll just have that for road vehicles that have become too, like, damaged. 4 more deliveries, and then the train should wait until unloaded here. Looks like the train needs to get lucky to move out of here. Not really, but it's going to take a bit. How's the gravel situation? It's better again. Customs house is not in stress anymore. The vehicles are gone in Bislady's customs. Means that the road upgrade here is also complete. Can probably set up a warehouse here if we wanted to. But yeah. A maintenance office, a gas station, a couple things we need here in the future. Could even set up more houses. Now that the birth rate has gone up again and these have been filled up. Lacking a little bit in higher education, but we'll try and fix that. We're down to 171. That's not good. Loyalty requirement down to 40%. More people, please. Get the people through the student hall. There's not that many here anyway. But their loyalty has dropped quite badly, so see if we can get them educated and out of the student hall. Some of them are 63 years old. And they almost finished their education, but not quite. But yeah, let's run it that way. Hello, Angry Shrimp. Welcome. Well, that was unfortunate with the horse carriages, but sure. Then I would have to split them up between horses, and I would have to build a vehicle storage where I can split up the horses into a horse pasture and the carriages into their own building. And then I guess I could transport the carriages to this building to export them, or just... I don't think I have room to put a like a horse pasture down here. Okay. Well, if we get rid of these two waste storages, then I would have the room. But I think the horse thing is just a temporary one. Well, we could do it. Maybe? Sure. We'll move it over. Hello, Nob Long Life. Welcome. Some of us are nearly 63 and still learning, I guess. Yes. Or they haven't been allowed to learn for 40 years and now they're being called back to the university because we're running into a shortage of workers. It's one or the other. I don't know which. Must not get into a higher education slump. Get some people through the university, please. Make sure we don't run out of power. Not during winter anyway. Generally don't run out of power if possible. This build seems very orphan driven, interesting approach. Yep, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I want to have a stable republic with the orphans driving high loyalty in the republic instead of a radio or TV. I'm still trying to make that work. Currently, we have a bit of a loyalty issue in here. Because, well, they let a lot of people work in here with low loyalty, but also this building was undergoing maintenance recently. And that wasn't so great. But yeah, hopefully it'll recover with time. Need that loyalty over 75 with at least a basic education. But it can also be uneducated, that's fine too. Then we can move them into one of those buildings and they will get a school education quite quickly. I don't think we can do 50%, huh? Try 45. Don't build up a queue of students in the school again, please, thank you. We'll take a look at Terra Invicta. It's a deep one you might like. Take a day out to get to grips with it. I've seen it on stream recently again. I've only played it during early access. The stream got me interested again. Since we finished our Master of Command run, now I'm down like a run, but we still got plenty of runs ongoing right now. Grimshire might finish in like 4 or so streams if we do like half a season every stream. Depending on how the difficulty gets, I guess, but the days have always the same pace, so I don't know. Yeah, it's on the list. Let's put it that way. I've owned it for a while. I haven't had the time yet. I've played it not a lot. 4 hours only in early access. I wanted to wait until it got further along. I bought it on release basically and was an experience. The extension of the settlement is waiting for the research to be done. Which we've done a quarter of, not even. We'll need modern distribution offices that are not horse-based. I guess I'll set up a pasture. Maybe I'll set up another vehicle station out here. I just need one that is connected to like the train line and that's it. That would be sufficient. Then we can send like a train there to empty stuff out. There might even be a cargo wagon that allows you to load horses, and then both of them could be connected to a factory train station, and that would deal with it. I guess we can build that here. If we wanted to. So a horse pasture plus a... Okay, is there a train that can transport horses? Cargo wagon, I mean. Yes, Castle G. So there's at least one, so we could transport the horses and the wagons to the border and sell them in one go. Have you ever tried the Clonk games, Open Clonk? Yes. I've played Clonk 20 years ago. Clonk was great. Yep. Way ahead of its time. Very janky. Very weird controls. Trying to figure everything out. Very cool. Can we set this up? I don't think so, but it's going to be quite weird. It's only like a temporary setup to get rid of all the horse carriages. So it can be really janky, which would be fine. It just has to work, I guess. And hopefully not be too much of an investment. Not sure we're gonna get the corner done, but I'll try. Seems like it's gonna be too sharp. Somewhere down there, huh? So this might work. Nope, still too sharp. There we go. But the problem with this is that the horse pasture and the vehicle wagon station have to be connected to each other, so that won't work anyway. Like almost no one outside Europe has ever played it, unfortunately. No YouTube social back then to boost popularity, just word of mouth. Yeah. It's a really retro game. But I think it holds up except for the controls. I haven't played Open Clonk in a while. Back then it looked quite weird. Compared to the regular Clonk, which looked pixelated and cool. So I don't know. Might be worth another attempt at some point. It's not on the list currently. Hello, Pillsbear. Welcome. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna have to find an open area and build it up somewhere else, I think. It doesn't have to be here, it can be just out in the open somewhere in this area, and we'll just dump all the horse carriages onto it. That's something for the new construction offices to build. I'm just gonna have to make it work with the layout. I don't need to squeeze that into like a weird area like that. And we can even export the horses to this customs house, that's fine too. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, I guess. Get rid of the horse carriages in a less than clean fashion, I guess. Can build that up. Dump all the horse wagons into the storage, and then export with an extra horse carriage the horses and the horse wagons, I guess. Don't need to scrap them, I don't think. This should be a higher priority. Get that on the rail construction office. And it's going to be a temporary setup that we can demolish. Because I think once all the horse carriages are gone, we will probably not get them back. Unless, of course, the game decides that fuel's going to be really expensive. Like 8,000 rubles per ton again. Which could be a problem. Okay, you're going somewhere interesting, I guess. Sure. Coaling over there, why not? I do have a storage available here for coaling, but I guess you felt the need that that wasn't adequate enough for you? For some reason? It's only a bit of an extra trip, I guess. Why not? Then we need the Castle G for horses. Pick that up from the border. Okay, I guess the people in here are probably not going to make it to town in half an hour. It's a bit far. And the signals aren't set up that well. Next time you can make it to town. Promise. Not sure why they weren't using the coaling station here. The lines should all be set up correctly. How's crime doing these days? Probably badly. So I think what's keeping our happiness low the most. Oh no, it's okay. I mean, some houses are pretty bad. But some are also very low. The orphan houses, I guess, are very low. But everything else is slowly trying to increase. What's your problem? Oh, you don't have a workplace outside of that. Sorry about that. Here, you can work elsewhere now. I apologize. I removed the bus stop and never let you work anywhere else, and then you all became super criminal because you had no work, I guess. We need like a pandemic to get rid of all the criminals again. It's time. Actually, you know what? No. Unassign these. Because Construction office here has a lot more carry capacity. They don't need the assistance. You focus on that construction office, please. And then we can get some trucks. Set up a gas station. Change things for the better. Build a new fire station or two. More coverage. Better vehicles. Everything is going to become modernized. I'll let this horse feeder run out first. Put a gas station in here for fuel. Then we can change the adjacent horse feeders to gas stations once all the carriages are gone. We'll modernize one of the fire stations, probably this one, once we can get rid of the horse fire wagon. I don't want to do the one next to the the heating plant first. That seems a bit dangerous. Oh, that one is already a modern one, never mind. We built a modern fire station here already, I just need to put trucks in it. Still impressive, your orphan loyalty sure seems to keep it in check, mostly. Yeah, like I said, okay, loyalty is down to 29%. We're having an issue with tutors again, so the loyalty of the orphans is currently shrinking below the acceptable minimum. And I guess I need like a boost of more migrants to get it started again. It's really difficult to make this work. I'm always like fluctuating between what I want to do. And I still haven't found the setting appropriate enough for what I want. We're back to like losing a lot of highly educated workers. I think I got this under control if I make sure that the school doesn't become overloaded again. But yeah. Not in a good spot right now. We might need to have like another flush of the population. Make some room, get some more migrants. There's a lot of room in the student hall that I could move people into. Especially from like the houses that should have high loyalty but are down to 36. How about you move into here if you have no children? Precarious balance of the orphanage. Okay, yeah, we'll have a vehicle storage here, which isn't going to be used anymore, but it is here, I guess. Oh, we're not going to put anything in this area. You can freely dump waste onto these again and load construction waste if it shows up. Because we're slowly running our dumps full, and that's not good. A third of the way with research. Could use a couple more highly educated workers, I guess. Track construction, sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure those waste storages are going to move away, so We'll probably demolish the roads right now. So we only have to do the buildings afterwards when we get to them. Get rid of the logging camp, please. Why are you not going into the coaling station? It's green. I don't understand. Why do you care about that train being in there? It shouldn't matter. Oh, god dang it, you want to go to the other coaling station. Why? Okay, we gotta run the distribution office to the coaling station here. We can't have the trains going to the other coaling station in the other area that much. I'm not sure why they're... Oh, they're ignoring that one because it doesn't have any coal in it. It's not pushing the coal in, guys. That's why no one's going here. That's a problem. I guess we gotta do that. And make sure we build it in a way where the road actually points outwards and we can connect it. Oh yeah, we have another conveyor tower over there. I guess we can use that one too. Well, that's unfortunate. That explains why this has run out of coal, I guess. Priority is, I guess, the heating plant. Unfortunate. And I'll get rid of the other connection which doesn't work. That's stupid. Shouldn't it pull coal out of the storage like a diesel fuel station does when connected to a big tank directly via pipe? I don't know. I thought it should at least push the coal in. When unloading. Oh, it doesn't push it in. Right, because it's not directly collected to the unloading station. Yeah, not sure why it doesn't know about the connected coal. Maybe because it uses coal and water and is a special kind of building. We'll just set up the conveyor engine, it's fine. We have the money, right? Maybe. Got a castle G and the carriage wagon, so you're gonna handle the exports then afterwards. Once all of this has been built up. I mean, I guess I could have also waited until the horse pasture burned down or broke. But that would have been a bit mean, I think. We might need another clean start with the orphans. The restart didn't work. Alternatively, we open up this orphanage with no loyalty requirement and spread out the orphans 50-50 to try and reduce their numbers. Handled by the loyal tutors. Oh yeah, I can just dump children in here with no tutors, it's fine. Main goal here, reduce criminality. Rest doesn't matter. We'll try and make them happy, culturally enlightened, sports enjoyment, but main goal is reduce criminality. And then cut the amount of like orphans in this orphanage like by 50%. So a low number of tutors is less problematic. Why are you getting fewer workers now? Come on, guys. Make it work. Yep, that is not going to work for the future. Give me a dedicated dumper horse wagon. Pick up coal, bring it to the end station for now. So at least the trains will try and refuel here instead of going to the other area. Yeah, putting in a large orphanage in Project O with like worker deliveries by train is gonna be so unreliable. It has to work perfectly, which means people have to actually live here. Yeah, sure. Dump everything here. Now you can assist delivering resources since the groundwork materials have been delivered. Just bring more workers to the area. While you're also focusing on building a new construction office. These construction offices are not planned very well. No resource storage or anything. I guess the resource storage would be on this side, so they move out of here to right-hand turn and then drive into a resource storage area at some point. That could be train connected. But right now, it's planned for them to go to the customs house because I guess it's so close anyway. Taking over the maintenance office tasks of the area. Maybe later on we'll put like a replacement repair station next to them. Because this area might have quite a few vehicles. Bulldozer might come over here too. But yeah. Construction sector, residential area, enveloping the customs house a little bit. Train line will go through here at some point. Bypassing, like for resource trains, bypassing the passenger station pretty much. Okay, we're getting a bit of coal here, unfortunately without electricity. I'll have to increase the loan. If we weren't building, we would have money, but doing quite a bit of construction. Even if it doesn't look like it. It's fairly spread out. This one will have low priority, but the rail construction office also needs to handle that one. Because I think the depot is going to stay here, at least as a small one. Once we want to have long trains, we need a long train depot. It's not going to be here. But since it fit into the area for the starting industry, I think it will work well. This you could basically build without any people living in your republic. It's all run with foreign workers, and it makes a lot of money. Depending on the quality of the hazardous waste at the border, of course. Would need to check that one first. Okay, the horse carriage can keep up with it, I guess. Doesn't look too bad, but I want it conveyor connected. Otherwise it's gonna be a bit weird. Don't want a horse carriage here making sure that all the trains are refueled. I mean, a distribution office could handle it for sure. But why do that? How's the Republic doing? Hello Scott. Hello Diplo Hörnchen. Welcome. It's going alright. Loyalty situation went downhill again and now it's going uphill again. I started the other orphanage to try and split up the orphans a bit, so that this orphanage has a lower chance of getting overloaded. But yeah, it's going to take some time to take effect again, I guess. With more workers in Beslady, then the clothing factory could also run at full tilt. Maybe we can remove the road cargo station at that point and replace it with a train station running through the same line setup. Like a cargo wagon carrying train, bringing fabric and loading clothing would work. Okay. The dumper wagon is not able to keep up because the trains are using that coal quite easily. I could remove this construction office and move it off to the side, which I think I'll do. And then we'll use this road to go in parallel for the resource storages. So the second construction office would be somewhere here. But we can plan that with the building done and having a bulldozer in it. So, 2 construction offices next to each other. They will do a right-hand turn onto this road, go to a resource storage, and then go onto the main road after they have their resources. And then we have to fill the resource storages by rail, like coming from the customs house and doing a turn behind the construction offices and just a train delivering resources to it. Or maybe a rail distribution office. We're never going to need more than 1 track. Except in areas where we already do. Let me know when that conveyor engine is done and we can remove the horse carriage at that point. Once the groundwork is done, the tower itself is easy to build once the resources have been delivered, thanks to the road cranes. At some point we'll have excavators. Yep, with the refueling station here, this will work well. And if I do want to use the end station for refueling, which I do, I hooked it up to water. Then I guess we need a distribution office that grabs coal from this building and drives it over. A generic distribution office handling coal distribution wouldn't be the worst. Well, I hope they manage to reduce the criminality of the orphans here. Otherwise it's gonna be the same thing again, where suddenly we're gonna have a lot of people with high criminality, and that wouldn't be great. But I think the orphans themselves are just gonna disappear at that point, because they have nowhere to move in, I don't think. Except like Proskov, I guess. If there's a room for them at that point. An open flat. That would be an overflow, wouldn't it? If there's no room for the orphans to move in, they disappear. So if you have an orphanage with very disloyal orphans, they just go away if you don't let disloyal people move in. Okay, that might be an overflow orphanage then. I guess we don't need this one. Because we can automate it. Well, it's not really an overflow because the orphans still have to go through the whole like cycle of like growing up. So actually it's not really an overflow. Not really. Also very few workers in that orphanage. You know what? This orphanage was probably a mistake. I mean, it was a test, not a mistake. But still. We'll get rid of it, hook a footpath up to the train station, which will hook this up a little bit easier. Get rid of the wooden horse feeder at some point. First this one, once it's out of crops. Vehicle storage is done. Horse pasture is also pretty much done. Now we'll be able to dump a lot of vehicles in this. Yes. Currently only vehicles inside depots, because the other ones are in construction offices we might still need. You showed us having enough workers, and now that I put the orphans in here again, you're tricking me, game. Not the Roosevelt. Four more work days for the train track, and then we can run the export, I guess. Tell the train to wait until loaded. For carriages, I think. Load everything, and then wait until loaded for carriages. Ah, yeah. I like that system. brought them all the way here. And I think you're making it in time, even though you're desperately trying not to. That'll finish the conveyor connection. And then you can also go into the retirement. And we got coal. If we had built this one flipped around, I guess then I could have hooked it up to the unloading station directly with the coaling station, but then I couldn't have had the coaling station in front of the unloading station. There's the rail construction vehicle. Oh, looks like the horse pasture is actually full. I see. Well then, didn't know it only had room for 24 horses. I thought it would have room for a lot more. But I guess that would be animal cruelty. Not sure how much room we have for horses inside the train. I don't know if we need to wait for loaded until horses or for the carriages, but I'm gonna do carriages, I guess, for now. Horse-drawn, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah, that one. And if that isn't correct, then we'll just switch it over to horses, I guess. Nope, that should do it. Oh boy. Jesus Christ, what did you do? Why did the orphanage almost burn down? Pilsbeer? No, I'm not gonna make that. Well, that's a lot of wounded children. I guess that also counts as like an overflow for orphans, technically. Sheesh. Disloyal orphans with criminals might be the reason, but yeah, I don't know why it burned that badly. Maybe it's insufficient workers there in the fire stations. Hopefully the loyal kids are okay. Yeah, hopefully the loyalists are okay. I don't think so though. I think this is gonna be a mess. We only have 2 horse ambulances. They should probably be replaced with like buses. Four horses? 6 horses? We can load so many horses in there. So 15 horses and 2 carriages. Yep, waiting until loaded for carriages is the right choice. Because that's the one we will have more of. What did you do? What did I do? Game, why don't you read my mind? There should be a signal there so you don't go out on track when it's blocked. It's so clear. Okay. So whenever the hazardous waste train is not at the border, we can run an export. And use this setup to slowly get rid of the horse carriages, as we replace everything with modern equipment. There is no fuel here yet. Let's see. I guess a temporary gas station ought to do. Well, all the trucks would drive to it. Let's not put it on the roundabout. It's a terrible idea. And we have a cistern wagon, so we can load fuel now and bring it to a gas station. Well, known fact about trains, the driver has great visibility and the trains can stop on the penny, so there's no need to be careful when crossing tracks. No. And like road vehicles and passengers, like people, pedestrians, have the right of way, obviously. Everywhere. Yeah, the export of the horse carriages is going to take a while, but I guess that's fine. Unless I want to add another open wagon. They could really fit another one on there. Another two, but I guess not. It's fine. I'm not going to buy more open hull wagons. I guess I'm going to buy more open hull wagons. Use wagon export. Go back to the depot afterwards, then we'll change you up to pick up that missing open hull wagon. And at least then you can carry 4 horse carriages. Hello, Kelly McIlrath. Welcome. It's going okay. We're selling horses from old vehicles that we don't want anymore. Phasing out our construction equipment, I guess. It's gonna be good. You know what? I don't know if you have enough room to load it. Let's just detach it. People with low loyalty in here, unacceptable. Highly educated down to 146, 17%. It's still dropping. Let's lower the loyalty requirement down to 50. University is at 40. School is doing alright. I'm gonna drop you down to 8. Keep the university staffed. Make sure we get highly educated workers. Alright, and then you go back to used horse export. Used wagon export. Really? 3 carriages? Kidding me? There should be more room for them. Okay, just slowly shift things over, I guess. There's some fuel incoming. This does have electricity. We'll get a bulldozer. Oh god, we don't have the Russo bolts anymore. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ah, just when I set up the construction offices, the Russo bolts are missing. I also need to set up a repair station here for sure. But yeah, let's flatten the area first, I guess. I don't want to set up a vehicle production line, but we might have to. I guess we're like in a slump now when we only have low capacity vehicles. But 1.7 tons of crops versus 1.2 tons of crops, but 42 kilometers an hour. These are basically modern horse carriages. Are you waiting for the horses now? Because you aren't supposed to. I thought horse-drawn doesn't mean the horses themselves. Well, then I guess that won't work. How can you only transport 2 carriages? This is ridiculous. Load the carriages first. See how that looks. I don't know if it's like being weird with the horses or something. Nope, 2 carriages. Jeez. So inefficient. I guess they're very wide. Which is a bit of a problem. Bulldozers here. Fuel is in the building. I'll set up a repair station here. Small one, I think. Don't need a large one. Or medium one. But then again, maybe we need a medium-sized one. Might as well build a medium one. It's like a construction sector with a lot of vehicles in it. But if they don't have to send trucks out, then a small one would probably suffice. I don't know. We'll just build that one. It's fine. Hello, Archer. Welcome. Medium repair station, including a warehouse, a small one. Still, internal storage is going to be sufficient. We'll flip it around. Vehicle's gonna drive past the repair station from this end. And then the repair materials would be somewhere further back here. Could also have a technical service in the area. A bit too close. Then we can fill this out with technical services and maybe have a road connection back into the city on this side when we move the carousel over to a different area. Hello Neo Contra, early stream? Yes. Time for another change of sleep schedule. So we're not going to do a very long stream today, because of work week, but the stream started early. So I'm planning like probably at most another 2 hours. But yeah, going to work early and streaming early and then going to bed early. Trying to shake things up again. Maybe it'll do something. We'll put the farming equipment out of its misery. One of you can, I guess, empty out that one warehouse. Do I have a free depot left somewhere? These are all construction offices. Over here. Go empty out that warehouse, please. We'll try and use everything up for food production and then get rid of this whole area. Can get rid of the construction sector first. We'll need some distribution offices, which I guess could also be here, next to the repair station. We'll see. But yeah, some modernization is in order. I don't know if I want to modernize to the current version of trucks that we have, though. They do not seem very appealing, the AMO. But I don't know, like it could be kind of funny. But it's basically like the volume of horse carriages, just with... Like we have reduced volume, but faster speed. Halfway done with Soviet functionalism, very, very slowly. Yep, loyalty here crashed. Not sure why it sometimes crashes so badly. Maybe it's when the secret police doesn't do its job and then people with unknown loyalty move in. That's why I wanted to hire educated people in here. Okay. No people with basic education allowed in these houses, otherwise people from Pruskov are probably gonna move in. Because that won't do. Probably need another secret police to keep this like under control. Sometimes the houses aren't checked. That's kind of annoying. But I guess the other solution would be like personal vehicles. Fast personal cars. Which we don't have yet. To replace the horses. also need to get rid of the liquid fertilizer before we demolish this. It's too valuable. Ugh. Yep, give me an AMO, I guess. Sure. Go to both the farms and load the liquid fertilizer. There should be nothing else in there. And export it. Wait until loaded at the last farm. Oh, you're already moving. Just waiting for the waste train to make its way through. Sure. That is way too fast for the horses. You're just gonna spook them. Drive carefully. The warehouse is empty. Do your last delivery and then you'll go to a different place. The direct transportation of food to the grocers would then be handled by, I guess, also AMO trucks, but they will have to wait until we actually have gas stations dotted around the place, otherwise they're gonna all go to that free gas station, and that I don't want. Because that would just cause traffic problems. And I don't want any traffic problems at the moment. Although they can be quite funny. "18 years old, didn't finish education yet. 51 loyalty though. 68 loyalty, also in a flat. So you're probably going to go into the student hall to try and finish your university education. You're too old, and 36 loyalty, so you're not going to finish it. 37, 36, 38, 68, 69. Perfect, just in time for the evening commute home. Hello, Burns. Welcome. Indeed. I've decided to start modernizing the Republic. We're going away from horses, piece by piece. It's gonna make the traffic a lot more efficient. And we should be able to run our buildings more reliably. I have no idea why they are not sending any sellers here. Or like insufficient quantity of sellers, I should say. But I'm sure they know what they're doing, right? Not really. I see steel horses, I approve, yeah. It looks like we're gonna go to AMO trucks because the Russo bolts are not available anymore, although I could get some used versions of it. But before I do that, I need the repair station up. Then we can buy used construction equipment and fix it up. While construction is not happening that frequently. So the trucks might get repaired again, but I don't know. They might also just be too old at that point. Or too worn, rather. So the horse wagon has like capacity for 15 horses, which means we should be able to load 7 to 8 horse carriages. But the horse carriage capacity for the open wagon fluctuates heavily. So I would need like... In the worst case scenario, I would need 1 open wagon per horse carriage. I don't want to buy 7 open wagons. It's way too many. We're going to change this route. We're going to add the depot and send it out on demand rather than waiting until loaded. And then I guess the custom route can go away. Putting the technical service back here is probably fine for waste and water. Shouldn't be too difficult to get to the water treatment plant, especially if we have a road connection around the buildings on that side, leading down here. So they drive down this way, right-hand turn, water, done. And then more buildings past the road. That can also be in range of the repair station at that point. These demolition tasks are taking ages. But they are getting done. The carousel will need a relocation to a different place. Somewhere next to the train station would be okay, I guess. Put these on higher priority. Get the waste removed from them so we can tear down... Well, we can already tear down the footpath, I guess. But so we can also tear down the roads and plan for the location with like the new shopping center in mind, supplying food to a lot of people living in the area, hopefully with decent enough loyalty. Amount of higher educated citizens went up to 150. School is fine, university is okay. We're not getting the most loyal of people at the moment, all of them at least. But once the orphanage outputs like very high loyalty again, then we hopefully have enough tutors to run it continuously. Maybe it'll be fine. I don't know. We're still siphoning off people into this building right now, which is supposed to run the school with some amount of loyalty to push them over 50% so that they can then work in the orphanage as well. But it's not really working right now. we ran out of steam with that. I think they should be going into the roundabout, but that is still open. There could be an attraction building in there, or a monument, so a footpath might make sense. Oh, neat. That looks pretty nice. I see. I guess we can go with that. If we're not sending enough workers here, I'm gonna shut this thing down. Get out of here. For the time being. Gonna have to rework that area anyway. In this area we do have a dedicated construction office already upgraded to Russo Balls, which I would have preferred to get for the other situations as well, but alas, I was too late with the modernization, and now we're stuck with AMO-15s, which, while very fast, 40 kilometers an hour compared to horse carriages, do not have the carry capacity I would like them to have. So I'm a little bit hesitant still to upgrade. I'll have to clean up this road connection later on. I mean, the horse veterinarian is also going to go away. Horse maintenance will be a thing of the past. Unless we really want to have horse carriages for tourists at some point. Which I doubt is going to happen. Let's try and push for a little bit more decorum inside the school. 40% loyalty, maybe? University is fine. That one can... Oh, that one... Yeah, that one's at 30%. That's fine. Make sure we get enough highly educated people. Don't want to run out of them. That will allow us to have some extra buildings on the opposite side of the road. At least 2. Also being able to get repairs. You know what? Build a gas station for this location, I think. Can we do that? Or is it too narrow to fit a gas station in that place? It's too small. Ideally, it's going to be within range of existing electricity, so we don't have to worry about that. Maybe once we tear down the farms. This one is now empty of liquid fertilizer and everything else. The other one, not yet. But it's getting there. Demolition is finally done. Really? You're waiting that long? Okay, sure. Alright, this needs to be upgraded to gravel road and have the possibility of a gravel road doing something else here too. We will have an exit for the roundabout in the area, I think. Maybe waste storages, footpaths across, maybe some trees. So there's gonna be a road going through here, and in the moment right now, we just need the connection to the grocer to be active again. So that one has priority. Because that's where our fire trucks get into that area. Then after that one, they can build that road if they want to. And we'll be able to figure something out with the other road. I didn't flatten this properly. Never mind. I thought I did. I only flattened the corner area, but I mean flattened, like, at least so the corner isn't on the hill part, I mean. So I can change it later if I need to. No, that's not good enough. There we go. Perfect. High priority. That is flat enough for me, that's fine. The bumpy corner has never gone wrong. Yep, they can take off there. Getting better at starting settlements unrealistic. Are there any early game strategies that you find too exploitive? No, I'm still in the testing phase. I mean... Oh, maybe it isn't as nice as I wanted it to be. I mean, too exploitive, like... If you want a generic one that is not early start specific, that one would be using your US currency to buy Western vehicles and exporting them to the East for a ton of money. And then using that money in rubles to bring something to the West again and buying more vehicles. That is basically a way to make money without an industry completely. Why do we keep flattening that when I do that? Not happy. A more legit way would be to like produce them yourself and then sell them, but it also makes you a ton of money. But so does hazardous waste burning. It's like personal preference, I guess. But I think the hazardous waste burning doesn't give you as much money, because at some point it's just like peters out and you have to rely on the excess waste materials to make more profit. But yeah, it depends on what you want, I guess. And sometimes, like in this run with the hazardous waste burning, you need some source of money to be stable so you can figure things out. And then you pick whatever is the coolest. Or you find the coolest. I guess we could have an orphanage that doesn't have access to a school or university and just boosts loyalty. And then they move into a building that is specifically for people without an education right next to the school. They finish the school education and then work in the orphanage. No one else would be allowed to move in because everyone else gets their school education. That would be a weird setup for an orphanage. Would take a little bit extra time to get them through the system, but I guess that's another way to filter it. Gotcha. Sounds like people online just throw that word around to sound superior. What word? Exploitive? Oh god. Oh. Why did we make 21,000? Did we make 21,000 from vehicle exports by horse carriages? That doesn't sound right. What happened? I made like 150, 200 from them. I made a lot of money exploiting. Well, like whatever you don't see as like cool, I don't know, I wouldn't call it exploiting, but I guess that's what people are using. Because it's like a single word to make it sound dramatic. I would have probably like said, okay, if you go for an oil refinery as your first industry, you can run it with foreign workers and be just as happy as with the hazardous waste. The oil refinery is basically a strategy like this, which on import makes money, and then on export makes money. On import it doesn't make money, but on export it makes a lot more money than hazardous waste. And it has less of a logistics overhead because you can theoretically just connect the oil refinery to a train station and you don't need to deal with any waste necessarily. Like you can put everything through an incinerator and export the ash and you'll be fine. But I don't know, like since the introduction of like the waste system, I think many industries have become more balanced. You still can go for industries that make you a lot of money or industries that require a lot of logistics to actually function. Steel industry also makes money, but steel industry is a lot harder to set up. Especially if you're producing your own iron and coal. And the amount of waste it makes is also quite high. Yeah, I don't know why we made so much money from vehicle exports the month before last one. That was kind of crazy. I was worried I was accidentally like selling the train cars from the train, but it didn't seem to be the case. I need to flush you all out. You're like 34% loyalty, get out of here. Get into like other houses, I don't care. Get me a fresh set of migrants who can hopefully get the orphanage stabilized and give me some very high loyalty people again. Okay. Carousel is done. This one, I guess, wasn't really in the way if I'm planning to have the road go down here. Since now the veterinary is also going to go away, but I guess we'll have a carousel up there instead of this one. At some point new truck types become available. At some point. Do I really start like investing in the AMOs? I guess so. Sure. Let's get a construction sector set up with the basics. And they're blue colors, so they're gonna have the right color anyway. Alright. We'll still have to rely on horse cranes, I guess, but I guess that's a basic collection of vehicles to at least run maintenance from this building out. I think I'm ultimately aiming for full self-sufficiency. Yeah, that is a good challenge. Because then you can build whatever industries you want and make however much money you want. You still want to make all the resources and vehicles and everything yourself. That's the logistics challenge, not a money challenge at that point, which works a lot better, I think. For a long-term strategy. An incentive to keep playing. Well, good luck, dumb truck. You can help with construction, I guess. Now the horse carriages are gonna get in the way. I've not really used the AMOs. They might be perfectly fine. I just like high capacity construction vehicles, I guess. Stuff could be burning down back here. I just want to start bringing workers there by train because it's a lot more reliable. The horse carriages are so low range before they need to feed again. And, well, it's mainly their speed. We can't carry people very far. I guess that is the bigger issue. I wanted to have like a contingency of like basic, a couple vehicles in here just to make sure everything stays running. But now I'm actually thinking of like filling this out with AMOs so every construction I'm doing will continue to run well. But I don't know if I can like justify that to myself. Because the AMO, I don't know, doesn't feel right. So I guess the veterinary horse carriages are going to be the last one to be removed.
.46 kilometers an hour for an ambulance. Let's go. They're both running. Looks like a lot of healthcare stuff is still happening here with only a single clinic. You know what, since you're driving past this point right now, might as well put you into the building. No, the ambulances are doing stuff right now, let's wait. Let's wait until one of them is not doing anything. Okay, you are not doing anything right now, so you're relieved. You can work in here now. Better ambulances means more healthy people, which means more crime, I guess, because people don't die as early. It's all going to be building up the criminality in the Republic, I think. Okay, you're not gonna get any more horse feed, you're gonna go away. And you can make your way to the clinic once the other horse has realized that it's not assigned anymore. Oh, it's already assigned. You then don't have a gas station yet, a proper one. Gotta be careful assigning too many vehicles. And we also want to make sure that the horse feeders are empty. I guess that's going to empty out the horse feeders at some point. What's going on? Oh, it's just slow. Okay. Sure. Let's get these distribution office vehicles removed. Instead we'll put some AMO dump trucks in there. Delivering coal to the smaller heating plants. And then we'll wait. I'm going to try and keep running the vehicle repairs at 20% because I want to see what happens. I'll probably put up a gas station on this road.
I guess the last bit of grain from the horse refueling points we can then also export. But I would like to clean up the food factory. The warehouse will probably have to relocate with a rail connection. But otherwise, not too much stuff needs to be done, I don't think. I mean, this whole area is going to get demolished. Like the industrial part, technical service, this is all going to go away. These distribution offices are going to be replaced by truck ones. That is all going to happen. More houses. Probably a second. No, we still have plenty of capacity. I'm going to go up to like 0.6 megawatts, I guess, at most, which is half capacity of the wire that is connected to it. But yeah, right now we still have enough. Heating is at a half capacity as well. That's, I guess, the more concerning part that we need to be aware of. Can you get to the school from here? You should be able to, so you're at 0.7. Yeah, you're fine. Half a kilometer walk to the school is not bad. So there's going to be 2 more trains running to the university district. It's not going to need a reliable source of workers, but it's going to allow us to research right now. Yep, horse carriages will have to leave, clogging everything up. Not that the customs house is ideal, but yeah, that's the best we have right now. Merit Customs House is reduced throughput by a lot. And if we hook everything up to running water at some point, we're going to run into the issue. Actually, we're not going to run into an issue because we will just sewage discharge over there. It's so far away that we don't have to treat the sewage. That'll be fine. I think. Probably some people who have like the urge to connect all of the footpaths from every building. And now that they have to connect like almost twice as many footpaths, that might be quite annoying to them. But I think the benefit of like being able to make prettier footpaths out of residential buildings should allow that. Get more houses set up. Ideally for high loyalty, but this area is basically any loyalty should be fine except 0 to 25 we don't want. It's not really a good idea to keep doing this though, because we're just like driving down the loyalty of the population on average, letting anyone with any loyalty moving in that is below 50%. Alright, this building is done. You are going to have to pick up food from the border now. Local distribution of it. That one was supposed to handle coal, since we don't really need to pick up coal from the border anymore. We could relocate the AMOs. I think so. Copy the tasks over here, but instead of the customs house for everything, you're gonna load coal from here. That frees up one distribution office vehicle, one distribution office. No more picking up coal from the border, it's all coming from this storage, which is delivered to by train. Distribution office does 2 right-hand turns to get into the building area. No traffic problems with that either. And they'll still be able to pick up gravel from the customs house, because that one is needed for the small rail construction office over here. Who's assigned to you? Oh, we have a water delivery horse carriage still here, helping with the water deliveries. Yeah, you can go too. Clothing is still being distributed from this area, that makes sense. Until we have a new warehouse, that it is. Can't aim for 50% loyalty if there's less than like half of 50% loyalty teachers in here. It's kind of like a prerequisite that we have enough teachers with sufficient loyalty. Down to 138 highly educated. Is the university not keeping up? There's still 20 people in here. We need to make sure that all of them can study, I guess. Otherwise the Hall of Residence is just going to run full. But this setting also causes a lot of students showing up here, which slows everything else down. I need to then prefer students based on their education, which will hopefully prefer those that are in the student hall. And everyone who has like less than the required student hall loyalty setting is not going to be allowed to move in, ergo they can't really finish or continue their studies. But once they're in the student hall, they will be able to continue. So this will attract a lot of people now, but I think overall this should allow the people in the student hall with around 50% loyalty to pursue their studies until they're done, without running the building too full. And it also guarantees a building for the very loyal students to move into to finish their studies. But yeah, we have to catch up. Down to 15%, we're like in a bit of a critical area again. But it should, we still have a decent amount of party officials here. We're not at the part yet where we have to turn off the secret police, but we're getting close to that point. So I hope they can just run through the ones with high education progress, put them in an area suitable for their work. And keep going. 65 university educated. Congratulations. Which building are you going to move into after your free time is over for the last 15 or so years? %40 loyalty is not enough to work in the orphanage, which is fine. But you can work somewhere else, I guess. Food first, then sport. Makes sense. transport right across the road pretty much. Or like footpath. So, which building are you going to move to? Prosco. Low loyalty. I guess that works too. They also need some highly educated people. Might be negatively affecting your life expectancy over there, but I'm sure you'll do fine for at least 2 or 3 years. Yeah, we'll leave the checkbox on again. With the low minimum loyalty setting, I guess I'll have to do it that way. The only problem of this whole ordeal is that the orphans are not going to be able to get a university education. But for that we're still waiting to flip on this university for the city. Which will rely on the trains. And then we can bring everyone here to get a university education. Just need to finish the train line. Then this university will deal with the orphans only, and everyone else goes out of the city into the technical university. Everyone who has less than 55 or 60% loyalty. Are we building so much right now that everything is overloaded as all get out? Seems like it. I don't think anything is in danger of collapsing though. Nah, we're still at 40%, everything's fine. The new building should be set to 40% reconstruction as well. Just once the horse ones are gone, it'll take over. And it also needs increased search radius because it has to take care over Prosco in the future. So 3 kilometers for now. Do an export, please. Hello, it's called Latte. Welcome, sorry for missing your message. Way too engrossed in the game right now. We're finally shifting over to trucks. So we'll hopefully deal with some traffic issues. We can't really send that much stuff to the customs house, but I do believe we will have a building material storage out here that will handle most of the traffic that is usually going to it. Extending the train track out a little bit and delivering resources from Best Lady Customs by train should not be a problem. Two-thirds of the way to Soviet functionalism. We're building 2 more residential buildings in the old style. At least we're trying to. So this could open up for more residential area. Less pollution, food factory in a different location. Could be done with crop imports by train till we have our own farm. Another village to do farming is possible, but right now I'm going through industrialization. I've opted for no real like raw resource productions of my own. No extraction economy in this area. What are you missing? A waste storage, huh? Okay. You mentioned you wanted to do a map of a mega city. What's the biggest challenge there? Only one city allowed. Everything has to be connected together, basically. Get to like 100,000 people by not using high density housing or like not a lot high density housing. It's supposed to be a realistic looking city. And unlike our previous mega city one, I would start that one from early start. Either 1900 or earlier. But that would be a long-term run. Once I feel confident with the horse carriages, which I guess we're getting rid of them right now. And we think that there's not going to be any more updates to the current version. An 1850 or so start would be kind of cool. I would probably need a steam locomotive and construction vehicle from the workshop to make that work. But those would be the... that would be the idea. Sounds rough for logistics, like building accessibility. Yep. I've done it before, and it was really cool. Everything squeezed together, trying to make it look realistic, and then some park areas to maybe alleviate some stress. And bringing a lot of like resources into the middle of the city. Tunnel construction would be not really possible with early start, which we used heavily in the old Mega City 1. To carry resources underground through the city and then popping up wherever we needed them. But yeah, I think it could be quite cool. We'll try to do the stream again tomorrow and on Thursday at the same time. If my sleep schedule holds. And yeah, that's going to be a little bit more aligned with the weekend, except no late late evening streams then, I guess. Maybe that's gonna be a way to go. I guess the passenger train could already run before the coaling station is fully operational. And speaking of coaling station, I guess you need to bring coal to it. I hope the AMOs can keep up. The trucks should be better at the customs house because they're gonna move faster to the loading unloading stations and then faster out of it. So faster vehicles at the border should allow for more throughput with the flipped customs house. What are you waiting for? I guess there was a train in the way. Oh, the construction vehicle was moving back. Right. So small, it's very hard to see that one. But I guess that makes sense. Shouldn't really be any other train in the area right now, causing problems. Keep running for a while. I'll tell you to stop at some point. Well, at least now the shopping center has a decent amount of workers. Not too long of a queue. Okay. We'll pursue the strategy of orphanage will not get a university education right now, but the children of the orphanage will. And they can move into the student hall of residence afterwards if they still have high enough loyalty at that point. The orphans themselves should get a high loyalty and a basic education at the very least. Which means that they can then work in the orphanage again. Because there should be enough room for them to move in here. Do we have enough room? Right, the idea, basic education. If I turn on basic education, it basically means that we also run the risk of people from from Pruskow moving in here with an unknown loyalty. But I guess I have to take that risk. And later on, like I said, everyone from the city will get a university education outside the city except for the orphans because of very high loyalty requirements. But for that, I was basically trying to get the train platform connected, because then we can bring workers and students by train here. I should still require at least, like, I don't know, 10% loyalty. Just filter out the most disloyal people. Don't give them a university education. When do we get a better rail construction vehicle? Wasn't it like 27? No. I don't know. 28. Oh, these ones, the
O and K are only 39. I thought they would be available earlier. Oh, there. Weimar Dampfkran, 1927. We'll probably get that one. We can export the old rail construction vehicle in Ustron and just replace the other one. Gonna be faster and have more capacity. Like making 100,000 people population in a nation is a challenge, like in the beginning, when you're figuring out how to set up like settlements, etc. But I also would set the goal for myself to make it look pretty. I don't know if I've shown you my Mega City one. I've shown it a bunch of times on stream. I'm very proud of that one. Did run into performance issues because it was built with my old PC. And I would try to something like that. Going through the eras, like early start, old buildings everywhere, horse carriages again, trains from the beginning ideally, but also more time with horse carriages. So working in tandem, and then at some point modernization like what we're doing right now. I don't think the bulldozer can be carried by the horse carriage, can it? Oh, it can be. So you could use the horse vehicle flatbed to bring the bulldozer to areas. I might... Well, if we do that, we will continue to need the veterinary. Because I don't think they can get repaired inside the repair station. Which means that the road connection will have to go through here if we leave this building in the area. So I guess it did make sense to remove the carousel. Why are you assigned to the University Hall of Residence? I don't get it. Anyway, I think you need to take care of the kindergarten. Loyalty doesn't really matter here. Don't move 25 to 50%. No, actually, yeah, move any loyalty in here is fine. No highly educated though. Okay, some people with higher loyalty are showing up. Good. Should bring the loyalty of the students up. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to run the orphanage, but I don't know where the people with like basic education and 50% loyalty go. Like 50 to 75. The new houses, I guess. No, not... yeah, 50 to 75, yeah. They do need a place. Let them move in here, I guess. This house isn't assigned to any other building. This orphanage we'll get rid of. It's not in a good place. I mean, it's right between the bus stop and the train station. If we had enough loyalty, there would always be workers around to walk into it, but we don't have that right now. 3 tons of crops. I'll get rid of it. I can empty that out, remove it. I'll put a proper gas station in here. It's gonna be mostly a left-hand turn if we build it that way, but... Just a regular gas station. Vehicles out of the gas station will have the right of way to prevent a gridlock. Although if vehicles are going into the gas station, they will do a right-hand turn mostly, but there is going to be a road connection on that side, so it could lead to a problem. Prioritize the removal of the carousel. It's only one waste delivery left to do. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here for today. We'll be back tomorrow, probably with workers and resources. I'm getting into the mood of like industrialization, upgrading, modernization, and I think once we have like a reliable construction sector up of resources in the area, with a train delivery. I don't know if we need a rail distribution office yet, but we've been bumbling around with 2 settlements, trying to get the loyalty under control. That is still my main goal for this run, I've decided. I want this to be stable. And once it's stable, I want to expand and see how it reacts, but yeah. We're not building as much as we could, is what I'm saying. In any case, thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed the stream. We will be raiding over to Wushel, who is currently racing iRacing, which is a completely different type of game. Open wheeler, slow Formula V, I think. I don't know the track, but yeah. Different style of stream, different game. Lots of chaos. Wushel just crashed, but it was practice. If you want to stick around for that, please do. If not, that is absolutely fine too. I wish you a very good rest to your Tuesday afternoon, wherever you are.
wish me luck with fixing my sleep schedule again. Until then, take care everyone, all the best. And maybe I'll see you next time. You too everyone. Bye bye.